Picture this. You walk into a room full of strangers. A networking event, a job interview, maybe a party where you don't know anyone. Within 3 seconds, every single person in that room has already made a judgment about you. They've decided whether you are confident or insecure, whether you are a leader or a follower, whether you are someone worth knowing or someone to ignore. And here's what's terrifying. You haven't even opened your mouth yet. See, most guys spend years trying to figure out what to say. They memorize pickup lines. They practice their elevator pitch. They rehearse clever comebacks in the shower. But the brutal truth? Words account for only 7% of human communication. 7%. The other 93%? That's all body language. That's posture. That's eye contact. That's the invisible signals you are broadcasting every single second without even realizing it. The most powerful men in history understood this. They didn't dominate rooms with speeches. They dominated with presence. And today, I'm going to reveal 7 body language secrets that only 1% of men ever learn. Secrets that will completely transform how people perceive you, respond to you, and remember you. Stay until the end because secret number 7 is the one that leaves the most lasting impression, and almost nobody talks about it. Let's get into it. Secret 1. The predator's blink. Here's something you've probably never thought about. Your blink rate. Right now, the average person blinks about 15 to 20 times per minute. But when someone gets nervous, when they feel threatened or challenged, that number skyrockets. Their eyes start fluttering like a hummingbird's wings. And everyone around them picks up on it, even if they can't consciously identify what's happening. They just know something feels off. They sense weakness. Now think about a lion. Think about a wolf. These apex predators barely blink at all when they are focused on something. Their gaze is locked in, unwavering, almost unsettling in its stillness. And that stillness communicates one thing very clearly. I am not afraid. I am in control. Here's the secret that powerful men have mastered. When someone challenges you, when a coworker questions your idea, when someone tries to intimidate you, when you are in a high-pressure situation, consciously slow down your blink rate. Don't stare without blinking at all because that comes across as psychotic. But reduce your blinking to maybe half of what feels natural. This does 2 things. First, it signals to everyone watching that you are completely unfazed. You are not threatened. You are not scrambling mentally. You are calm and collected. Second, and this is the part most people miss, it actually makes the other person uncomfortable. When your blink rate is slower than theirs, it creates an unconscious pressure. They start to feel like they are the one being evaluated, not you. I want you to practice this. Next time you are in a conversation and you feel that spike of nervousness, take a breath and slow your blinks. Watch how the dynamic shifts. Watch how the other person suddenly seems less sure of themselves. This is silent dominance. And it starts with your eyes. Secret 2. The room scan. Most guys enter a room like they are apologizing for existing. They slip in quietly, find the nearest wall or corner, and try to blend into the furniture. Their body language screams, "Please don't notice me." Powerful men do the exact opposite. When you walk into any room, you need to own that entrance. And it starts with what I call the room scan. Here's how it works. When you step through that doorway, don't immediately beeline for a seat or start looking at your phone. Instead, stop for just 1 or 2 seconds. Plant your feet. Stand tall with your shoulders back. And slowly scan the room from one side to the other. During this scan, you are doing something very specific. You are making brief eye contact with key individuals. Not a creepy, lingering stare. Just a 1-second acknowledgement. You see them. They see you. That's it. This tiny ritual accomplishes something massive. It announces your presence. It says, I am here, and I am aware of my surroundings. It forces people to acknowledge you before you've said a single word. Think about how world leaders enter a room. Think about how successful executives walk into meetings. They don't shuffle in with their heads down. They enter with intention. They survey their environment like they own it, because in that moment, through pure body language, they do. Now here's the psychological layer underneath this. When you scan a room and make brief eye contact with people, you are establishing yourself as someone who is socially aware and confident. You are not hiding. You are not hoping to go unnoticed. You are declaring your presence with nothing but your posture and your gaze. The next time you walk into a meeting, a party, or even a coffee shop, try this. Pause at the entrance. Scan. Make eye contact. Then move with purpose to wherever you are going. You'll feel the difference immediately. And so will everyone else. Secret 3. The mountain stance. Watch how most men stand. Their weight shifts constantly from one foot to the other. They lean against walls. They cross and uncross their arms. They are in perpetual motion, like they are standing on hot coals. This communicates one thing: discomfort, anxiety, a desire to be somewhere else. Now watch how dominant men stand. They are planted, rooted, like a mountain that has been there for 1,000 years and will be there for 1,000 more. Their feet are shoulder width apart, their weight is evenly distributed, and they are completely still. I call this the mountain stance, and it's one of the most powerful body language shifts you can make. When you stand like this, you take up space. You project stability. You communicate that you belong exactly where you are and that nothing is going to move you unless you decide to move. This isn't about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about being grounded. Here's a practical application. Next time you are in a conversation, especially a difficult one, pay attention to your lower body. Are you shifting? Swaying? Leaning back like you are trying to escape? Stop. Plant both feet firmly on the ground. Distribute your weight evenly. And hold that position. You'll notice something interesting. When your body stops moving, your mind settles too. You'll feel calmer, more centered, more in control. And the person you are talking to will sense that shift. They'll unconsciously recognize that they are dealing with someone stable and confident. The mountain stance is especially powerful in confrontational situations. If someone is challenging you or trying to intimidate you, the natural instinct is to step back, to create distance, to fidget. Resist that urge. Hold your ground. Stay planted. This sends a clear message: I'm not going anywhere. And suddenly, the person challenging you has to reconsider their approach. Secret 4. The Art of Stillness. This one is closely related to the mountain stance, but it goes deeper. I'm talking about total stillness. Not just in how you stand, but in everything. Your hands, your face, your entire body. Fidgeting is the enemy of power. Every time you touch your face, adjust your clothes, tap your fingers, or play with objects, you are broadcasting anxiety. You are telling everyone around you that you are not comfortable in your own skin. Powerful men have learned to be still. Think about the most intimidating person you've ever met. I'm willing to bet they weren't bouncing around. They weren't constantly moving and adjusting. They were calm, collected, almost unnervingly still. Here's the secret: stillness creates tension. And in social dynamics, the person who is comfortable with tension holds the power. When you are completely still and someone challenges you, something fascinating happens. The silence and the stillness become almost unbearable for them. They feel compelled to fill the void. They start explaining themselves, justifying their words, backpedaling. All because you didn't react. This is incredibly powerful in negotiations, in conflicts, and in any situation where someone is testing you. Instead of immediately responding, instead of defending yourself, instead of fidgeting and showing discomfort, just be still. Hold their gaze. Let the silence breathe. 9 times out of 10, they'll crack first. They'll start talking. They'll soften their position. They'll suddenly treat you with more respect. Stillness is dominance without aggression. It's power without force. And it takes practice, because every instinct in your body will scream at you to move, to react, to do something. But the man who can master stillness has mastered one of the most potent forms of social power that exists. Secret 5. The strategic pause. Here's a scenario. Someone asks you a question. What do most people do? They answer immediately. Sometimes they even start talking before the other person has finished speaking. They are so eager to fill the silence, so worried about appearing slow or unintelligent, that they blurt out whatever comes to mind first. Powerful men do something different. They pause. Not an awkward, I don't know the answer pause. A deliberate, I am considering your question pause. A brief moment of silence, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, before they respond. This simple technique does something remarkable to the power dynamic of a conversation. First, it communicates that you are thoughtful. You are not reactive. You actually process information before responding, which makes everything you say seem more considered and valuable. Second, it builds anticipation. When you pause before speaking, everyone leans in a little bit. They are waiting for your response. They are giving you their attention. You've created a small moment of suspense, and when you finally do speak, your words land with more weight. Third, and this is subtle but important, it signals that you are not desperate to please. You are not worried about the silence. You are not scrambling to prove yourself. You are comfortable taking your time. Here's how to practice this. In your next conversation, when someone asks you a question, take a breath before answering. Don't rush. Let one beat of silence pass. Then respond. At first, it will feel strange. You'll worry that the pause is too long, that people are judging you, that you seem slow. I promise you, it doesn't look that way from the outside. It looks confident. It looks measured. It looks powerful. The strategic pause is one of those secrets that's so simple it almost seems too good to be true. But try it and watch how differently people respond to you. Secret 6. Controlling the exit. Most men let conversations end when the other person decides they are over. They wait for the other party to wrap things up, to say goodbye, to signal that it's time to go. They are passive recipients of the social dynamic rather than active controllers of it. But the man who controls how a conversation ends holds significant power. Think about it. The person who ends an interaction is the person whose time is more valuable. They're the one with somewhere else to be, something else to do. When you consistently let others end conversations, you are subtly communicating that your time is less important than theirs. Here's how to flip this dynamic. When you are ready to exit a conversation, not abruptly, but when you've said what needs to be said, don't wait for the other person to wrap things up. Instead, use what I call the exit signal. It works like this: let your gaze drift briefly away, as if something else has caught your attention. Then give a small, subtle nod, a nod that says, "This has been good," without saying any words. Then simply begin your exit. You might say something brief like, "Good talking with you," or just offer a final nod and turn away. The key is that you are the one initiating the end. You are the one deciding when the conversation is complete. This does something interesting to how people perceive you. When you control the exit, people value your time more. They recognize, on some level, that you have other demands on your attention. That you are not just standing around hoping someone will talk to you. It also leaves people wanting more. When you end a conversation slightly before it naturally concludes, there's an open loop. People think about you afterward. They wonder what else you had to do. The interaction lingers in their mind longer than it would have if you'd let it fizzle out naturally. Practice this in low-stakes situations first. Casual conversations with acquaintances. Brief exchanges with coworkers. Get comfortable being the one who ends things. Then apply it in more important contexts. Secret 7. The final glance. This is the secret I promised would leave the most lasting impression. And it's so subtle that almost nobody teaches it. When you leave a room, when you walk away from a conversation, when you exit an interaction, turn back for a brief, final glance. Not a long look. Not a meaningful stare. Just a quick, almost unreadable glance back over your shoulder before you disappear. This creates something powerful: mystery. People remember what intrigues them. They remember what they can't quite figure out. And when you leave with that brief glance back, a glance that could mean anything or nothing, you become slightly mysterious. You become something to think about. What was that look? What were they thinking? Did that mean something? These questions linger. And as a result, you linger in their memory. Here's the deeper principle at work. People don't remember what you said. Not really. They remember how you made them feel. And mystery is one of the most compelling feelings you can create. It's what makes people think about you when you are not around. It's what makes you stick in their mind days or even weeks later. The final glance is the punctuation mark on your exit. It's the moment that turns a forgettable interaction into one that lingers. But here's the key: it has to be subtle. If it's too obvious, too intentional, it looks calculated and loses its power. It needs to feel almost accidental, like maybe you just happened to look back at the last second. Practice this in front of a mirror if you need to. Get the timing right. Make it quick. Make it unreadable. And watch how differently people remember you. Conclusion. Let me bring this all together. Most men go through life completely unaware of the signals they are sending. They wonder why they don't get the respect they deserve. They wonder why people don't take them seriously. They wonder why they can't seem to command a room the way other men can. The answer is almost never what they are saying. It's what they are showing. Today, you learned 7 body language secrets that will fundamentally change how people perceive you. The predator's blink that signals control. The room scan that announces your presence. The mountain stance that projects stability. The art of stillness that creates tension in your favor. The strategic pause that makes your words more valuable. Controlling the exit that demonstrates your worth. And the final glance that ensures you are remembered. These aren't tricks. They are not manipulation techniques. They are the fundamental language of human power that most men never learn. Start practicing them today. Start with one. Master it. Then move to the next. Within weeks, you'll notice people treating you differently. You'll notice more respect, more attention, more opportunities coming your way. Because when you master your body language, you master how the world sees you. And that changes everything. If this video gave you value, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop content like this every week, content designed to help you become the most powerful version of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.